Hi guys, Chris from Investrep here. Alright, so this whole series actually started because of certain species we breed. We get a lot of inquiries on how it starts, and the star of the show species for me that was the deciding factor on the show was the black-headed pythons. And we're actually we're busy editing the whole thing from over the weekend, cutting open the eggs, taking the babies out, establishing them so that they're happy. At the moment, we've got 12 happy Muppets behind us in the tubs, and basically today I'm just going to show you on the diversity that you can get. So we produced potentially visual tigers last year. Picture here of a visual tiger, but I couldn't confirm it because you need to reproduce it in able to confirm it. There is speculation that have been produced in South Africa, and I'm not questioning that in a single bit, but to confirm it and sell it as such South Africa, I think this is going to be a first. And so this is quite a big leap for the South African reptile industry on more black-headed pythons. We were just blessed to have black-headed pythons in general, and we had to scrape up what we could, but now we've gone into the morphs. We're starting the tiger morphs. From next year we're actually looking into Axanthics and making it worth our while, and for all the people out there that loves black-headed and wants to keep them their while, we'll look at Axanthics, all that. But for today, just to show you diversity from one clutch, what you can get out, and then just a little story on black-headed pythons in general, where you start. Obviously with hatch this weekend, what I initially do is I just chuck them in together at the highest heat source that I've got, and these are my tropical racks behind me. And when I say tropical, I mean it just got a higher heat at the back, and I'm waiting for their first shed. They can all shed together, nothing's going to happen. Then I'll move them into individual hatchling tubs, and that's where the whole nightmare starts. And there's going to be a lot of shows on that, not just black-headeds. We've got a few problem children that we're going to be receiving this season, that's known for being trouble feeders, and we're going to show you all the hacks and the tricks of the trade that we use to get them established and eating. Alright, so let's jump in. Let me show you, I'm going to show you the one batch. I've got them divided up in two tubs here. Just below, these are the Amazons. These are way too moist, so these are Amazon babies. I'm going to go over to the handhelds and actually show you what we produced and how tiny they are. I'll show you a little bit on the setup itself, but let's just take one here. And they're pretty good at hiding, and I prefer that for my hatchlings. Okay, so yes, one little star of the show. As you can see, about 30 centimeters, let's call it 10 inches, a little bigger than 10 inches I think, also a little, let's call it 40 centimeters, about 13 inches. But yeah, these guys, the last one hatched out yesterday morning. They started hatching on Friday, made my egg incisions, and you can see they're alive, jumpy, and they're pretty feisty. Mouth open, doing the whole taipan. And for you guys that don't know, they actually mimic taipans in the wild as babies. So if you watch some of the Australian shows, when they encounter baby black-headeds, they have to confirm it's the black-headed python or it's a taipan. And there's method behind the madness. To be the most venomous inland snake, its replica, nothing can go wrong. This guy is already checking me out. And you'll seldom get them biting, because then, you see, he took a strike at me, didn't bite. Because then I'm going to realize he's not venomous and he's not a taipan. But that's actually one of the features that makes them so cool. I call them my non-venomous taipans. They grow at a rapid rate. And when I say grow at a rapid rate, call it within the day, pretty much the same time period, we produced these. This is my male holdback. I've got the female in the breeding room, already in an upgraded enclosure. This guy's actually moving into a recticube next week, and we're going to be doing a whole video on setting up their cage. But as you can see, what these guys do within a year. This guy is on the 1.3, maybe 1.2 mark, and you can see it's quite a snake. If you don't know the size that black-headeds can reach, you would think this is already an adult snake. So they grow with tremendous speed, and it actually makes sense for a desert species with a lot of predation going about to grow as fast as possible. We actually got a species in South Africa, the black mamba. They can grow within 2 meters within their first year if they provided the right circumstances. It's just interesting to show you on how big they can get within a year. And you can see this guy is not obese. You can actually see the muscle tone on the back. There's no separation of the scales here or anything. They just grow fast. It just happens that way. And the whole clutch, all the clients that got these babies, and even from ourselves, can confirm the rate these Muppets can grow. It's unbelievable. It actually, if you just leave them for a month, they will shed automatically. You don't have to overfeed them. You just feed them normally and they just go. But they put all that energy and food into growing. Beautiful snakes. I'm going to show you the babies and then I'm going to go over to Mama, and I'm pretty sure some of you can have a light heart attack on how big black-headed pythons can actually get. Okay, so this is the setup I keep my hatchlings in for the first couple of weeks. So what I do is, everyone knows I'm a huge fan of the wood chips. The reason I don't use paper towel for black-headed pythons is they love digging, and they're actually a burrowing species, going around in tunnels, and I've already caught quite a few of them digging around in this. But if this doesn't work too well, I just take normal dry moss and I just lay it on top. So when they're moving about, they don't feel threatened or anything. They actually can move undercover. So this basically mimics thick desert bush kind of environments. Already got one waking up there, and here's the beauty going on here. So you can see from a mile away. We'll go into tiger morphs a bit later, but here's one happening. Not as prominent as the others, but definitely you can see the black running all the way on the back there. And these guys will actually get better after their first shed. But I cannot say that is the cutest thing you've ever seen. And you can see here's a lighter colored one. That one just took a jab at me. This one's got a lot of yellow and coppers going on the side there. This one's got beautiful, very prominent. I call this the classic look. Very classic bands running across. And yeah, this one, I think I'm just going to call this one feisty from the word get-go. Let's see if it doesn't want to bite. But once you pick them up, you'll still be hissy and moving around. But yeah, so let these guys be. I'm going to show you Mama and we'll get an insight on how big they really get. Okay guys, so I'll feature the dad at a later stage. He's an absolute monster because he hasn't lost any condition. This is Mom that hatched out the babies. As you can see, basically a replica. She's a little bit darker. There's something going on with her in the sense of, well, she's producing tigers, which makes sense. The other female looks like the classic black-headed we all get. This one's been lighter from the word get-go, and she's hungry. She's not in a happy mood. You'll probably hear one or two hisses from her, but in general, they're not biters. Thankfully not, because they've got tremendous jaw power. It's one of the more painful bites that you can get, and I'm trying to avoid her to touch flesh, because what these guys will do, because they don't have actual heat pits, is they will just start latching on to anything that's flesh. I'm actually watching her now, right now. So far she's well behaved. So just to give indication, she's about on the 2.2, 2.3 meter mark, and she's a pretty big girl considered her size for blackhead. Like I said, I'm going to get Dad out at one stage. We've got this fantastic thing going on in South Africa called load shedding, and we've currently got load shedding, so I can't film in the breeding room because it's a little bit dark in there, and I like to put some light on the matter, no pun intended. Just to introduce you, so now you've just seen from the babies how big they are, what we're busy with, to a yearling, to Mama over here, and we'll be covering quite a bit of these guys in depth on our show. Like I said, we've got footage from the weekend, catching the eggs and everything, all the excitement in between, but there's so many things that happened, we just got to stitch it all together. And as you guys can hear my voice, I came down bad with the flu last week. For those of you that spoke to me on Sunday or tried to speak to me on Sunday and yesterday would know I didn't even have a voice. So this is the first time in a while that I've been able to talk. But yeah, just a little black-headed journey, what you guys can expect. And let me know if you've worked with this species before, what do you think of them? In all of the snakes I've kept in my career, I would say this is definitely in the top 3 if not the favorite for me. I mean, how can you not? They're so unique. There's so many things going on. The reason for that black head is, in nature, they will actually be in crevices and they'll be hiding quite a big amount of their body because of high predation in the area. And they'll actually use that black head only for thermoregulation. So they will use that black head, stick that out of the hole, and that will actually heat up enough that she can move around and do her business. Because they're ectothermic, they need thermoregulation, and that is the purpose of this black head. I'll show you after the shed of these black-headed babies. The head is extremely glossy and the rest of the body is a matte, and as they grow older, the entire snake basically becomes glossy. I don't know if you can see it over there, but I mean, that head still stands out. This is a mini version of the babies I took out, but very powerful snake, and yeah, very unique features. They're from the family Aspidaites, for those of you that know. Aspidaites only has got two, the black-headed python and the Woma python. The Woma pythons we'll do later on. We're still waiting for some babies to hatch out. Once they hatch out, I can take you through that journey. But in the meantime, you're going to be focused on this one. And what makes them unique is they're what they call old world pythons, in the sense of they don't have heat pits. And that's why I'm keeping, if this snake had heat pits and it's saw now it's in a neutral environment, it will calm down and it will just go. The reason she's busy, she only sees where she's at, but the second she feels flesh or smells a rat or a snake, so she will go for it. Note to self, do not handle snakes and then go over to your black-headeds and take them out of the enclosure. You will be seen as food. That's a little inset, that's what's waiting for you. If you've got any comments or questions, leave it in the comment section below, and please guys, subscribe and like our page. Alright, thanks a lot, have an awesome day.